Okay, class, good morning. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. Um, and then number two, like usual, my presentation. I hope you can see it as well. Can you see my presentation, class?
Yes.
Yes.
Also can, yeah? Okay, very good. Right. So I think we can start right now, lah, yeah? So how many students here? 20, 26, 24. Okay, never mind. Okay. So I think we can start the class right now. Right. I just want to ask you, we already start 4.7 or no? Plant
No.
reproduction.
No.
Not yet, yeah? Because I think not your class lah. I think I already start 4.7 um, another class, yeah? Not you, because if you remember, we are busy settle the practical side of the subject, in the school, but never mind. So I think for today, just like I promised yesterday, we are going to learn a new topic for today. You can refer also to your textbook, page 119. All right, we are going to learn about the reproduction in plant. Okay, so 4 point, the last topic, the last subtopic, I think from 4.1 until 4.6, you learn about the reproduction in human. You still remember? Okay. If you I look back at the table of content in chapter 4, 4.2 until 4.6, yeah, 4.2, chapter 4.2, subtopic 4.2 until 4.6, we are discussing about the reproduction in human. Okay, 4.1, we are discussing about the general knowledge about the sexual and asexual reproduction. So in chapter 4, if you look the table of content, I will try to open the table of content for you to see, right? Like here. Okay, chapter 4, right? Okay, this one, this chapter, yeah? Okay, chapter 4, 4.2 until 4.6, you learn about the reproduction system in human. There are 5 subtopics dedicated just for the reproduction of human. Make sure you understand that. Okay, 4.1. 4.1 is just the what we call the introduction of reproduction in general. Okay, you learn about the sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction in living organism. Okay, again, if I said living organism, meaning that including us human, animal, and plant. Okay, including microorganism. We are what we call a living organism. Okay, can you understand? Do you understand the whole what we call the concept of reproduction, the whole content of chapter 4 reproduction? Do you understand? Class, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you understand the whole idea and the knowledge in chapter 4 you need to know. Okay, 5 subtopic just dedicated for reproduction in human. And then for today's topic 4.7, we just focus on the reproduction of plant. Okay, only one subtopic, reproduction in plant. Okay. So you can open your textbook, page 119, 4.7, plant reproduction. Okay. I will skip things that I think it is maybe you can just read it for yourself. I will skip it. I just want to skip to the most important what we call point only, right? Okay. Number one. Okay. This is page 120. Right? The structure and function of each part of a flower. Okay? You must understand. Right? If you still remember reproduction in human, you already learn the structure and function of both male and female reproductive organ. You still remember? You still remember the parts and function of male and female human reproductive organ? Okay, make sure you understand which are the name of the parts and the function of the parts. All right, in male and female, yeah, men and women. Okay, in plant reproduction, you also need to identify and try to know the function of each structure and function of a flower. Okay, when we said about flower, flower is the reproductive organ in plant. Okay, can you understand this? Flower is the reproductive organ in plant. Right? So we take a look one by one. Okay, so this is the typical what we call normal kind of flower. They take hibiscus flower as an example of a plant. So in typical flower, there are two parts. Yeah? There are two parts. One is what we call by stamen and one is pistil. Right? I just square it for you. This one is stamen. Okay, this one is stamen. Okay, and then you just understand stamen here is the male reproductive organ. All include in one flower. Okay, normally in a flower, this is what we call a bisexual plant, yeah? Because it in one flower there are male reproductive organ and there are also female reproductive organ in one flower. Okay, and then next one we call it this part over here. Okay, this part over here. Oh, all right, this part over here we call it pistil. Pistil is the female reproductive organ. Can you see the difference here? Number one is stamen. Stamen is for male reproductive organ. And then the second one is pistil. Pistil is the female reproductive organ. Can you identify which one is male and which one is female, class? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you understand the what we call reproductive organ in plant, yeah, in both male and female here. All right. So we take a look one by one. We look at the male side of the reproductive organ. Only consists of two. Number one is what we call by anther, and then number two is filament. Anther, filament, stamen. Stamen is male reproductive organ. And then how about the female reproductive organ? We have stigma, we have style, ovary, and ovule. There are four structures in female reproductive organ. We can include that in what we call the name of the parts is pistil. Yeah, pistil. Pistil consists of four parts, and then stamen consists of two parts. Make sure stamen is the male reproductive organ, and then pistil is the female reproductive organ. Right? So how about the other parts here? For example, here we have here what we call a petal. This is petal. Usually colorful. Okay. In this case, okay, if you look at the textbook, the color of the petal is red in color. Usually, what we call a striking color: blue color, yellow color, red color, purple. Striking color. There is different from the color of the leaf, right? Color of the leaf usually green, right? But yellow, petals in flower have a very striking color. Okay, why? Because they want to attract the insect and animal. Okay, so you must remember. And then another thing, sorry, the other thing is what we call, the another one is what we call by sepal here. Sepal here, usually green in color. Okay, usually green in color and protect the flower during the bud stage. Okay, this is sepal and then this is petals. Okay, I want to ask you the question whether you understand the diagram or not. If the question asks you which are the structure that is not involved in plant reproduction system. In plant reproduction, which are the structure which does not involve? Can you understand my question? Okay, class?
Spell.
Okay. What are the structure again? I just replied the question for you. What are the structure that is not involved or not related to plant reproduction system? Which thing do you think? Which part? Okay, again, number one is stamen, number two, pistil, number three, petal, and then number four is sepal. What do you think? Which parts of the plant which does not directly involve in the reproduction of the plant? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Number 3 and number 4.
Number 3 and number 4. Yes, correct. Okay. If the question asks you that, okay, number 3 and number 4 does not directly involve in the reproduction of plant. Okay. For example, you just read it on the diagram there. Number 3, just to attract animals or insect. Number 4, to protect the flower only. Okay. The only structure that involved in reproduction is number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is stamen. Stamen is male, and then number 2 is pistil. Pistil is female reproductive organ. Okay, so you understand this? Make sure you understand the whole name and the structure of the flower. Okay, so my question is this sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction? Sexual or asexual, class?
Sexual.
Okay, very good. Thank you for your answer. This is sexual reproduction because it involves male and female. Yes, very good. They are involved male and female, so we call it a sexual reproduction, right? Okay, good. Next one. Okay. The next what we call topic is what we call pollination. Okay, pollination. Right? So pollination only what we call only applicable in flower, in plant. Yeah. So what is the meaning of pollination? Before that, there are two types of flower, bisexual and unisexual flower, right? I think if you look at the picture here, bisexual meaning in one structure of flower, one flower consists of male and female in one flower. This is what we call bisexual, okay? And then some of the plant will have unisexual flower. Unisexual flower meaning that it has two different flower. one is the male flower, and then another one is the female flower. Okay. If you refer back, right, if you refer back to the diagram on page 120, what type of flower is this? This one. Is it bisexual or unisexual? 120. This is what? Bisexual or unisexual?
Bisexual.
This is bisexual. Very good. This is bisexual flower. Okay. One flower consists of male and female, stamen and pistil. Okay. There is another. They also got a plant that has different flower. One is male and one is female. Okay. For example, okay, what is the plant? Usually, the plant with unisexual flower, corn flower, papaya flower, okay, and then which only female flower can produce fruit and seed. Okay, this is what we call plant that has unisexual flower, papaya and maybe corn. Okay, bunga raya ataupun hibiscus is bisexual flower, because in one structure of the flower we have stamen and we have pistil in one structure of the flower, right? Okay, next one. Pollination. Again, what is pollination? Right. In plant, before fertilization, you still remember what is the fertilization, class? Fertilization. Do you remember fertilization?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you still remember fertilization, meaning if you still remember, fertilization in human must include what? What in male and what in female?
Sperm in male and ovum in female.
Okay, very, very, very good. Okay, fertilization in human consists of sperm in male and then ovum in female. And then they are fused together. You still remember? They are fused together and then will become what? Will become what?
Zygote.
Yes. Will become zygote, right? Okay, good. Okay, for those who are answering correctly, very good. Will become zygote in human, yeah? We are talking in human first. After fertilization, it will become the zygote, and then it will become embryo, and then it will become fetus. You still remember? And then it will become newborn baby. Okay? But in plant reproduction, before fertilization, you must remember, before fertilization, there is a one process that we call pollination. You understand that? You understand this? Pollination before fertilization. All right? So, pollination, what is pollination? It's the process of transferring matured pollen grain from anther to stigma. Okay. Pollen grain, the word, the keyword here I want to highlight here is number one, pollen grain. And then anther, and then stigma. Okay. Pollen grain. What is pollen grain? Pollen grain is the, all right, pollen grain is the, what we call male gamete in plant. Male gamete in plant. Or we call it male eggs. Male eggs or gamete in plant. Okay. In human, we call it what? Male gamete in human, we call it?
Sperm.
Sperm. Very good. But in plant, we call it pollen grain. That's why pollen grain from where? Pollen grain come from the anther. Okay, anther is which side of the flower? Is it male or female anther? Anther is male or female?
Male.
Male, right? Okay, that's why pollen grain is the eggs or the gamete for plant. Okay, so it is transferring the matured pollen grain from anther to where? To stigma. Stigma is male or female? You can refer your, yes, stigma is female. Okay, this is the process, right? Pollen grain transfer, the pollen grain is being transferred from the anther to stigma. Okay, so this is what we call by pollination. Now I just want to show you some picture of the flower. Okay, just wait for a moment. All right. Okay, never mind. I hope you can see this, yeah? So what is the picture of pollen grain? Okay, these are the picture of pollen grain. Pollen grain in okay. I hope you can see this, eh? Oh, it's very small. Okay. So this is the flower of hibiscus, yeah? This is the flower of hibiscus. Okay, I want you to identify this. If I can show you. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So, this part over here, this is the part of hibiscus flower, yeah, the real picture of it. All right. What is the name of this one? Number one.
Stigma.
Okay, this is stigma. Stigma, male or female?
Female.
Stigma is female. Okay. Another part. I just use the blue pen over here. I will choose this part only. Yeah, this part only. All right. This part over here. Okay. So we have two parts here. One is over here, and then one is over here. Okay. So number two. What parts of this? Number two?
Anther.
This is anther. Very good. This is anther. And then number three?
Filament.
This is filament. This is filament. Okay. Anther and filament is the male or female reproductive organ in plant.
Male.
Male.
Number three and number two is male reproductive organ. Okay, another one, if I forgetting here. There's a long tube, right? Long tube from the stigma and then go all over to the ovule here. This one we call it what?
Style.
Number four? Yes, very good. This is style. Okay, style is also a what we call a female reproductive organ. Okay, stigma, style, ovule, ovary is all female reproductive parts, we call it pistil. Do you remember? Pistil. And then for the anther and filament, we call it stamen. Okay. Okay. Where does the pollen grain? Okay, pollen grain before pollination. Pollen grain, if you still remember, pollen grain is the male gamete. You still remember? Pollen grain is the male gamete. Pollen grain is on the anther of the flower. Okay, I use the black dot here to show you where is the pollen grain. Pollen grain is in here. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah. This is all pollen grain. The pollen grain, the real color of pollen grain is what? Yellow, right? This is all pollen grain. Pollen grain is the male gamete. This also here, right? This is all pollen grain. This is all pollen grain over here. So, pollination mean what? Anybody? Can you repeat back what is pollination? Pollination is the transfer of what, class? Transfer of pollen grain from where? Anybody?
Anther.
Transfer of what? Anybody? The transfer of pollen grain
Grains
from?
And
from anther to
to
stigma.
stigma.
Very good. Pollen grain is the transfer of pollination is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma. From anther to stigma, the pollen grain over here, the red, I use the red color here, transfer to stigma. This is pollination. Can you understand it? Can Okay, never mind. You can watch the video back. All right. So what is the what we call the real pollen grain look? What we call the real pollen grain. Pollen grain on. Okay. Okay. Can you see the red pollen grain just like dust sticking on the bee there? Can you see it?
Yes.
This is pollen grain. This is pollen grain. And then this is another picture. You can see the bees here is covered with pollen grain. Pollen grain from where?
Anther.
Pollen grain from
Anther.
from anther. Okay. And then if you still remember the picture over here, where is the picture? Sorry. Where is the picture? This one. Okay. If you still remember the picture here, right? How the pollen grain transfer from the anther to the stigma? By using what? Pollination. How pollination happen? With the help of what?
Animal.
Yes, with the help of animal. Very good. Okay. Such as what? Such as
Bee.
bee over here. Okay. It cannot, the pollen grain over here cannot transfer on its own. It needs something, or whether it is animal or insect or wind, that need to transfer the pollen grain from the anther to the stigma. Okay, that is another topic lah. Right? So this is what we call by pollination. Any question?
No.
Okay. Okay, now I want to show you the video of what we call fertilization. You still remember? Pollination is after or before fertilization? Pollination, before or after fertilization?
Before.
Before. You must remember, yeah, before. The pollen grain transfer from the anther and then stick to the stigma. Okay. And then after the pollen grain stick to the stigma, what happened? All right, you can watch the video first. Yeah. I don't know whether you hear the. Never mind. I will explain to you. Okay. Can you see the video?
Yes.
Okay. Now what happened? Now, anybody? What is the process right now? What's the process right now? Over here, class. This one. What happened? Oh, sorry. I just paused the video. I just paused the video for you.
Pollination.
Yes, pollination. Oh, sorry. Okay, all right. I will pause the video for first. All right. This is what happened. What happened at the beginning? This one.
Pollination.
Yes, this is pollination, right? Excuse me. This is pollination, where the pollen grain from anther will transfer to the stigma on the pistil. And this is pollination, right? First pollination, and then after that, okay, watch the video. I maybe want to speed it up for a bit. Okay. Okay. What happened here? Number one here. What happened now? What happened here? This is what? Number one?
Pollen grains.
Pollen grain. Very good. Number two is what? Number two is?
Stigma.
Stigma. Very good. Number three is? What is number three? What is number three, class?
Style.
Style. Very good. Very good. And then what is number? Sorry. Okay. What is number 4 and number 5? What is number 4, class?
Ovary.
Ovary or ovule? Okay. Number 4 is ovary, and then number 5 is
Raw.
ovule. Okay. Very good.
Ovule.
Yes. Very good. Correct. Right. So what happened? So I will continue the video. Okay, what happened? Okay, can you see what happened here? The pollen grain, what happened to the pollen grain?
Go down.
And
Go down. Yes, it will go down, right? And then through the style, and then it will meet the what? And then it will go down. It will carry the pollen grain. The pollen grain will what we call produce a tube, and then it will carry the male gamete, and then go along the what we call the style, and then bring the male gamete to meet what? Go to the ovary, and then to fertilize with what? The pollen grain will fertilize with the ovule inside the ovary. Okay. This is what the process? What's the name of the process?
Pollination.
Pollination or fertilization?
Pollination.
Pollination? Is it pollination or fertilization? Oh, right now. Okay, okay. You can see it right now. Okay. You can see the dark one here, the what we call, this is the male eggs from the pollen grain. Okay. This is the male egg. You can see here, the black dot here is the male eggs from the pollen grain, and then sent through the style and then go to meet the ovule here. So ovule here, O-V-U-L-E, is the female what? Is the female gamete.
Mate.
Female gamete. This one is pollen grain.
Grain.
Okay. Pollen grain is male.
Gain.
Yes, male gamete. And then pollen grain stick to the stigma, and then after a few while it will grow to a style here to just to send or just to carry the pollen grain, go all the way into the ovary to be fertilized by the this is the fertilization happen. Fertilization happen when pollen grain and ovule fuse together. Can you understand it?
Can.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Shall we continue the video? Okay, this is the enlarged, I zoom it a bit, what happened inside the ovule. Okay. When there is a fertilization, the pollen grain successfully enter the ovary and then fuse with the ovule. What will happen? It will become what? Fertilization. It will become?
A zygote.
Yes, very good. It will become zygote. Okay. It will become zygote. This is fertilization happen. Yeah. You can see the pollen grain is moving toward the ovule, and then there is a fertilization, and then after fertilization, it will become a zygote. I just speed it away. Zygote, yeah, the fusion of the sperm and egg. Sperm here is the pollen grain, yeah. Eggs here is the ovule. Okay. And then what will happen? From zygote will become embryo. Still, it's just like a human, yeah. From zygote, it will become embryo. Okay, the rest of it, I just want to show you the animation only. And then it will become what? After zygote, and then after zygote, it will become embryo. And then after embryo, it will become what? Okay.
Seed.
It will become seed. Okay. What happened to the sepal? What happened to the petals? The sepal and petal will what we call
Drop down.
fall off. Okay, and then it will become, the ovary will enlarge to become what?
New plant.
To become?
Fruit.
To become fruit. Yes, very good. Not to become baby, baby in human and animal only, but for plant it will become fruit. And then what is inside fruit? Inside the fruit we have seed. And then seed, if the seed drop to the ground, and then it will become new. It will become new what?
New plant.
Yes, it will become new plant. Okay, it will become new plant over here. So it will germinate. Okay, it will germinate and to become new plant. Okay, this is the normal, what we call reproduction in plant. Okay, never mind. I will share the video later on our Telegram group. So make sure you understand it. Okay. All right. Any question?
No.
We are until what time?
11:13.
11:30. Okay, never mind. Okay, I will go very fast. Type of pollination, yeah. Type of pollination, very easy. There is number one, self-pollination, and number two is cross-pollination. And then make sure you understand what is the meaning of pollination. Okay, what is meaning by self-pollination? Self-pollination from same what? There are many flowers, right? I will focus on the self-pollination first. This is self-pollination, the transfer of pollen grain from same plant or different plant.
Same plant.
Same plant. Very easy. This is self-pollination. Because one plant over here maybe consists of four. For example, in the picture here consists of 4 flowers, right? So the pollen grain may transfer from anther to stigma in same flower, or what? Or different flower, but same plant. This is self-pollination. Can you understand this? Whether it is same flower, same plant, or different flower, same plant. This is self-pollination. Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay. How about cross-pollination? Cross-pollination very easy lah. Because cross-pollination, different flower, different plant or same plant?
Different.
Yes, very good. Different flower, different plant. This is cross-pollination. Okay. If I try to draw I just want to test your knowledge lah. If I draw the flower over here, okay, one flower is blue color. Okay, this is one flower blue color. This is all blue color. Okay, it's all blue color. Oh, okay, blue color. Also blue color. Blue color. Okay, if all blue color, okay, if all blue color, so can pollinate or not? What do you, if one of the flower, if flower number one here, if this flower number one, and then pollinate with number two, what do you think the new plant will have? What type of color? The new plant.
Purple.
What do you think? Yes, maybe purple, right? Yes, of course. Maybe the color will be purple. Maybe the color will be different because this is what we call by cross-pollination. This is what special about cross-pollination. Yeah? Because if not different species, yeah, different breed. Yeah? Because if we can cross-pollination between two different breed of plant, for example, plant number one over here, the flower is red. And then plant number two here, the flower is blue in color. So we have what we call a variation. We call it variety. Sorry, variety. This is what's special about cross-pollination. You got variety. You got different special color, very beautiful color if you do cross-pollination. Okay. How about self-pollination? Can we produce the color of the different color in self-pollination?
No.
Self-pollination, we do not have the variety, but cross-pollination, we have the variety. That's why the what we call, which one is more what we call benefit, which one is more good, cross pollination or self pollination. Of course, cross pollination is the best way to what we call to pollinate or to breed the plant, right? Okay. Okay. This one you can read for yourself. I just the same thing I just explained to you just now. Okay, this one also I think you can read it for yourself. Pollinating agent, for example, butterfly or bees. All right, you still remember the picture over here? You still remember this picture? Bees, right? It carry the pollen grain from anther to another flower, and then it carry to the other flower. So bee or the insect is one of the pollinating agent. Okay, right? Or maybe it carry by the wind. Okay, this one number one. Animal and insect is a pollinating agent. Maybe you can read the information there, and then if you do not understand, you can ask me, right? And then the second one is by wind. Okay, and then you try to read what is the characteristic of the flower that use wind for its pollination agent. Okay, this one, you can read for yourself over here. Okay, the advantage of cross pollination, I think wait, maybe I will stop here. Yes, I will stop here. I will stop until the pollinating agent. Make sure you read what is the information about pollinating agent. Number one is animal and insect. And then number two is wind. You read first. And then for the next topic, the advantages of cross-pollination, I will continue in our next meeting. Is it okay? Class?
Okay.
Okay. So, do you have any question?
No.
Okay, if you do not have any question, I will stop here. We'll be meeting again at what day? You have class tomorrow or no? I think tomorrow on Thursday, right? So we'll be meeting again on
Friday.
On Friday. Yeah. We'll be meeting again on Friday, and then I will continue the topic advantages of cross pollination. Okay. If you have any question, you can ask personally on the Telegram group. And then if you do not have any question, the exercise later, I think I will give the direction, the exercise on the Telegram group. Okay. So I think we can stop here. Thank you for your focus. Thank you for your attention. And then I think we can see you all the way back again on Friday, this Friday at maybe 8 in the 8 a.m. Is it okay? 8 in the morning, right? I will start at 8 a.m. this Friday. Is it okay? Is it okay, class?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I will start this Friday. I will start at 8 in the morning. So we'll see you again this Friday. Thank you. You can leave the class now. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.